Hello and welcome to this week's Monday Night Conversation. My name is Annika and I'm the founder here at Mummy Made This, a company I founded back in 2020 to inspire creative play in children, but also to support fellow like-minded parents in this parenting journey that we're all on. How was your weekend? I went on a 30-kilometer hike with my son and I am still feeling it. Although having said that, it was also wonderful to be out and about in nature again. And yeah, all I can say is I hope you had as much fun and as much relaxation as we did. This is the third and last session that we'll be having on love languages. This is a book that was written by Gary Chapman and Ross Campbell. It was a book that a friend of mine recommended to me a couple of years ago. And today I want to share with you how I got on last week. So for those of you that joined us last week and the week before, last week I'd committed to doing some more research on what really makes my children tick and what really makes them feel loved and appreciated. So that is what I did this week. And for those of you that don't know, there are 5 different love languages. And today as I said, I'm going to tell you how I got on last week, but also share with you in more detail some practical ideas for how you can show love in different ways to your children. And I guess the outcomes that I saw in my children, but also my big takeaway from this week, really. 5 love languages. The first one is they've called it physical touch, so it's all about being tactile, really. I had established that I think my oldest really resonates with this one, and examples of things like cuddles or reading with your little one. So not for my oldest as much, but for my youngest, reading a book for them, for example, would count as that love language. But also roughhousing, high fives, or even a gentle tap on a child's back just to reassure them, let them know you're there, that kind of thing. So what did I try with my eldest last week? I had said I would do a pillow fight, I think I'd said. So that is exactly what we did. We played generally just a lot together. One of the things he loves doing is kicking a football around on the trampoline. And it ends up being quite rough, actually. So we try and get each other out and kick the football at each other and try and be goalkeepers. So he absolutely loves that game at the minute. And so we did quite a few of those this week, but luckily the sun was out, so that was really easy to do. We also had a pillow fight with lots and lots of laughing. I'd forgotten just how much we used to do that and how often we used to just play stuff like that. So that was really good for the soul. And then the other thing we did this week was just sitting together on the sofa, watching a movie, sharing some popcorn, which was wonderful as well. That's what I did with him. Quality time, that's the second love language. And that is all about, as it says, giving your undivided attention to somebody else and spending one-on-one real quality time with that person. And as I'd found out last week, I think my daughter really speaks in that love language, and that things that spending one-on-one time either with me or my husband really, really helps her feel loved and fill that emotional bucket. And so what did I do with her this week? I sat with her most evenings, actually, and I just watched her draw. So to help her wind down in the evenings, if there's time, her and I just sit together and in her bed, and she will just color in whatever book she has, really. And she did that a lot. Normally I will sit and I'll try and read my own book, or I'll just sort something out on my phone, order some Tesco shopping maybe. And this week I made a real conscious effort to not do that at all and give her my undivided attention, just sit there in quietness really with her and just be with her and watch her draw. And I think I certainly noticed a huge difference in her and in how that really, she loved it. She really, really loved it. And she would sort of start chatting to me and tell me things about her day and humming to herself. It was wonderful to see. So as a result, I guess as well, bedtime then became really relaxing. When she finished, we read a story and then off she went to sleep. So that was a wonderful experience this week. My husband also spent some time with her brushing her hair, just him and her, and chatting to her again in the evenings. And again, she absolutely loved that. was interesting, the following morning or a couple of mornings later, when I said, right, I'm just going to quickly brush your hair, I did it in the morning, as I say, where we were trying to get out the door, and it wasn't relaxing at all, and it was certainly not one-on-one time. Brothers were there trying to get ready as well, and she said to me, "Oh, Mummy, thank you, but no thank you. You know what, Daddy's a lot better at that, and I'd prefer he did it in the evening." So yeah, I think that again was something that really resonated with her and something that she really enjoyed. So that was good. With my little one, I as you might remember, with younger children, it's harder to determine what their love language is, and they haven't really established that yet. And even with my 9-year-old and my 4, nearly 5-year-old, I guess that love language, they're still developing. So it's really important to continue to try lots of different ways to show your children appreciation and see what works and what doesn't. So with my little one, I spent some time this week to just get out a lot more of the family toys. We got our old Hot Wheels tracks out and started building some tracks, and he absolutely loved that attention, I think, and just spending that time building stuff together. We also played some dominoes together on the day that he wasn't at preschool, and he really yeah, I sat completely concentrating for ages, and yeah, wanted to play again and again and again, and it was that one-on-one time, I think, that really mattered to him. Yeah, another love language is all about gifts and giving people things. It doesn't have to be anything bought. It could be things that you've made for somebody, but it's that act of giving somebody a gift. And as I had committed to last week, I was going to, on my in my weekly shop, get the children each like a little gummy bear bag and see whether any of those are particularly drawn to gifts or not. So I did that, and if I'm really honest, I'm not sure I saw much difference in their reactions. They absolutely loved their gummy bears. They ate them, all 3 of them, within seconds, it felt like. Did any one of them feel more loved or appreciated through that gesture? I'm not sure, to be honest. As I say, maybe that's not really any of their love languages, or it's too early to tell. I don't know. But the one thing I have noticed, and I do know, is that all 3 of my kids love giving things, and I don't know if that's just a phase. So my daughter certainly brings back lots and lots of little like stones or feathers or anything she's found during the day, and she'll bring them home or draw me something, and that's a real phase at the minute that she does a lot of that. And my son, my older one, he really loves spending money, his pocket money, not a lot, but whatever money he might have, on his friends or his siblings as well at times, and just he will treat them, or even me sometimes, to a coffee or whatever. I think he gets a lot of joy out of that process of giving. Yeah. The next love language is acts of service. That is all about doing something nice for somebody else. So as for adults, it would be bringing somebody a cup of tea, unload the dishwasher, that kind of thing. Again, this one is, I'm not so sure. In fact, when I the act of service that I did try, I think backfired a little bit, but I'll tell you that in a minute. So I don't know whether part of this is because as a parent, I feel like I do many, many things for my children anyway, all day, every day, whether it's reminding them to take stuff to school, helping them packing their lunch boxes, if they're running late, or, you know, getting all their clothes, all the stuff that mums and dads just do, like, yeah, every day. And I don't know whether that means the kids, that the balance is so far in that way that them noticing me doing stuff for them doesn't really resonate. Anyway, I chose to bring my husband, as you know, a cup of tea in bed, because I know he really feels appreciated when people do things like that for him. So I did that, and I thought, oh, do you know what, why don't I bring, because the kids all love hot chocolate, cold hot chocolate, why don't I bring each of them a mug of hot chocolate in bed as well, to help them get out of bed, because we had one morning where people just were not getting out of bed, and it was a bit of a tough morning. So I did this, but as I said, it backfired a little bit. My youngest, he drank it so quickly that it hardly touched the sides, and then he wanted another one, but I had to say no to that, because I know that if he drinks too much, especially too much milk, then he won't be hungry for breakfast, and then that backfires in the sense that he's hungry all day for the rest of the day. So I said no to that, and that then really upset him. So he was very upset most of the morning, didn't really want to get dressed then anymore, and so that's not sure. Hot chocolate in bed was work that well for him. My middle one, is not really that bothered about, not as bothered about hot chocolate as the others. And what she really wanted was a sweet instead. So she asked for a sweet, which I said no to before breakfast, no, which she didn't like the sound of either. So she was not in a great mood that morning, didn't want to get dressed. And then my oldest, he was so tired that even a hot chocolate didn't really make much of a difference to him. And that hot chocolate stayed untouched and he didn't get out of bed till about 15 minutes before we had to walk out the door with much coaxing and nagging and eating his bagel on the way to school. I think that was that day. So yeah, acts of service. I think the jury's out on that one. I'm not so sure that resonates with any of my children, or maybe it's too early to tell. Who knows? My husband, of course, he enjoyed his cup of tea, so that was at least that worked. Words of affirmation is the final one. So that is about giving your children or anybody compliments or some positive feedback, or just acknowledging them with words, really. And I made sure I commented on each of my children individually this week to show them how proud I am of them and to see whether any of them this way of showing appreciation resonated anymore with any of them. So my daughter did some awesome coloring, as I told you about, and not only did she show a great sense of how the colors work together, there was also great skill in sticking within the lines. So I told her that I thought she was doing a great job with that very specific feedback. And my youngest, he was really good. He amazed me, actually. Really good at playing dominoes. He recognized the numbers on the domino bricks really quickly, and got the rules really quickly and played. It was really easy and fun to play with him, so I told him that. And my oldest, he showed with his 30-kilometer walk at the weekend, he showed huge amounts of determination and grit and courage to even sign up for the 30-kilometer hike and give it a go no matter what. And I told him, and so did my husband. So all three children, I think, appreciated the comments. Well, I know they did. The little faces, they lit up, and you could see the appreciation, the pride in their little faces, and that was wonderful to see. Did any one of them react more strongly than the others in that sense of appreciation? I'm not sure, actually. Again, I think the jury's out on that, but then at the same time, I'm not sure it matters really. And that sort of brings me to the end of this mini series of exploring and reviewing the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman and Ross Campbell. Above, I've just spoken about a whole heap of very specific examples and things I did with my kids to show them appreciation in different ways and love in different ways and in different love languages, as it were. And I've put together a one-pager for you to download with lots more ideas and examples and for you to try yourself. And that will be available in the blog that I'll publish later this week. So I'll remind you of the link of that for that at the end of this video. But I guess first of all, my biggest takeaway, I think, from this exercise and from this week in particular was how much I thoroughly enjoyed consciously connecting with my children. And it didn't really matter how in the end, just that sense of connection certainly filled my emotional bucket and theirs as well. So the pillow fights, the giggling, the quietly sitting and watching the coloring with no other distractions, the joy of building together, playing stuff together. As I say, all of that didn't just fill their emotional cups, and that was noticeable that their emotional cups were being filled, but mine as well. There was much more patience with each other, much more eye contact, just much more smiling, more understanding of each other, more cooperation, helping each other out, more free play as well, less screens, less need to be interrupted by other things, really. We had more in the moment moments, if that makes sense. And I really enjoyed it. They helped each other out more, they helped me out more, and they were much happier to do that. I didn't really have to demand or nag as much this week. I don't think I did much more asking and talking. Even at the dinner table, actually, I noticed that we had more conversations rather than come sit down, sit still, do this. It was more about how was your day at school, and people were more willing to just sit and spend that time and enjoy that two-way conversation. So I guess for me, no matter really what my children's love languages are, I am loving spending just more time with them and taking the time to stop what I'm doing, to actually look at their little faces, give them eye contact, give them undivided attention, do some of that playful parenting, that play fighting, the pillow fights, the giggling, all of that regularly and unconditionally. I think that's the bit that's made me realize that more than anything this week, how much I love doing that and how much they benefit from that, and I benefit from that as a result, and how it's a great sort of upward spiral as a result. I don't know if that's even a word, but I think you know what I mean. And I guess when we do that, we fill our children's emotional tank. Things come from a much easier place. We fill our own emotional tanks, and we work together as a team rather than having to control and command and all of that. Yeah, and I guess that's what it should be all about, shouldn't it? Having that fun with your kids. And it's not always easy, and I get that, but connecting with your children goes a long way to making that easier, no matter how you do choose to connect with them. So that's it from today, really. For me for today. Check out the blog to download that one pager that I've created for you with more ideas to connect with your children in different ways. If you want to receive the blog directly, the direct link is www.mummymadethis.co.uk/mailing list, and you'll be added to that list, and you will receive a weekly email with the latest blog posts. Next week, as you probably already know, I'd like to explore the topic of timeouts. Do you believe in them? Do you do them in your family? Do they work for you? Or are you on the complete other end and you don't believe in them at all? You think they're harmful? Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and then also take that conversation into the Facebook group that I've created. You can find the direct link to this on my website at mummymadethis.co.uk, and there's then a blue link in the top right hand corner of my page for you to just click on and join, or you can search on Facebook under MMT, so Mummy Made This Parenting Community is what I've called it. Let me know your comments, as always. Share any topic suggestions, send me an email at annika@mummymadethis.co.uk, or respond to me on Instagram or Facebook at Mummy Made This. And as always, if you've missed any past videos and you'd like to take a look at them, you can go to my YouTube channel at Mummy Made This, or join the Monday night mailing list at mummymadethis.co.uk/Monday night. That's it for me. I will see you next Monday from 8 p.m. on Facebook or YouTube. I hope you have a lovely week, everyone. Bye.